Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, welcome back to the Blue Jay Way podcast. Jack Ryan and Chris May along with you on this crazy roller coaster of a season so far. Chris, I just want to take this second to mention the fact that 3 out of the 5 best records in baseball are currently AL East teams. It's the Rays, the Orioles, and the Blue Jays. I think this division needs to be split up and divide that level of talent because, man, the Blue Jays would be winning the AL West and the AL Central by a landslide right now, I believe, by over 4.5 games. Anyway, I digress. We're here to talk about the Blue Jays 7-game road trip in Boston at Fenway Park and at PNC in Pittsburgh. Chris, let's dive right into the Red Sox series. I was fuming at the conclusion of that 4-game sweep.
You were.
Oh, buddy.
You absolutely were.
I was not happy. Baseball's a crazy game. It's the longest season in any professional sport. The bullpen looked unhittable, untouchable in that series, in that homestand against the White Sox, and then halfway through Game 3 against the Mariners, and then it all just collapsed in on itself. But let's get to the starting pitching in this one. Jose Barrios goes 5 1/3, 5 earned runs, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Then Tim Meza comes out of the pen for 2/3 of an inning. No hits, no earned runs, no walks, no strikeouts either. Nate Pearson comes in, gives 2 innings of work. He looked absolutely brilliant. He only had 1 hit and 3 strikeouts. And then Jordan Romano gave up the game-winning walk-off home run to a guy who chatted a bunch of shite about the big Puma, Alek Manoah. We're talking about Alex Verdugo, the garden gnome with the shittiest beard I've ever seen in my life. And I don't know about you, Chris, but I was angry at the fact that the Red Sox were acting like they won the World Series in Game 7 every time they hit a home run in that first game. I don't know about you, but that was Bush League to me.
Well, yeah, I did. I mean, I wasn't probably as fired up about that as you were. Just knowing the kind of fan you are, very passionate, very very passionate, very engaged. I was probably more frustrated with the fact that, the Blue Jays continuously, and this was a theme in the series, continuously put up runs, continuously were able to, I wouldn't say, come up with massive clutch hits, but come up with some important hits in the series, and the pitching seemed to let them down. Almost as if it was like scheduled. It was like clockwork. It was like, all right, we're at this point in the game. All right, let's give up a big hit. And I mean, I will say the Red Sox do deserve some credit. Yes. Not a lot of people pick them to do anything this year. I feel like they're playing with a bit of a kind of underdog, chip on their shoulder.
There's zero pressure. There's zero pressure to compete.
There's not much pressure for them. So I have to say I was impressed with the Red Sox offense in the series. Obviously, these games at the end of the day don't mean much. But if you're a team like Boston who needs to rally and who needs to use a little extra motivation because maybe your roster isn't as strong as teams like the Blue Jays or the Tampa Bay Rays, you got to use that little extra fuel. And they were doing that because this series, it was really kind of shocking and impressive that a lineup that was looking like Boston's on paper was able to do so much damage against a pitching staff that was really good. So It was a bit frustrating, obviously, this whole series, but it started with this game in particular where Jordan Romano, I mean, that's the pitch he threw on the home run was an absolute meatball, 94 right down the middle. A lot of hitters in this league are going to be able to do something with that pitch in the 9th inning. Not saying that Jordan Romano isn't, dominant in certain outings. It's just, and this one, it didn't seem like he had his best stuff, and he got taken out to right field over the fence there for the winner.
Yep.
And it really, yeah, to me, just the theme of this game kind of set the tone for the rest of the series. And it was just like every night at 7:07, you tune in and you watch the Jays just get out hit. And, you know,
Yep. Get the
out hit
lead.
as well.
Get the lead. Lose it. Get the
Yeah,
lead.
can
Lose it.
yeah.
I mean, like that's like you went back or you mentioned the fact that the offense provided so much for this team in that 4-game series. And game one, I mean, Bo Bichette had a 5-for-5 day. Guy had a
I know he
3-run bomb.
wasted it.
And he wasted it. Yeah, the rest, like the bullpen and Barrios couldn't hold the lead. I was literally sitting there screaming at the TV when I saw Barrios. I think it was either a double or one of the home runs. I think it was Jaron Duran's home run. I was like, okay, Schneider, get him out of the game. Like he's thrown over 80 pitches, get him out of the game. And then whatever their shortstop's name is, that rookie guy was Valdez. And then he goes yard, and I'm like, okay, this game's over. He's gonna panic and go to the bullpen, and shit's gonna hit the fan. And like, thankfully, Meza and Pearson did their jobs and did them exceedingly well. Tim Meza arguably has been the best reliever out of the Jays bullpen this year. The guy's been, ever since he got Ohtani out in that Angels series, he's been untouchable. He's been the cornerstone of the bullpen.
He's looked great. Pearson looked really good. I thought that Pearson was going to hold it down and they were going to be able to win that game late. After his performance, he deserves a lot of credit for that one because two innings,
no walks,
a couple of strikeouts on 100. It was pretty impressive for him there. But yeah, this series was frustrating, and this was just the beginning. I thought after this game, I said, okay, let's get one out of the way. We'll move on. We got the Cy Young candidate, Yusei Kikuchi, heading to the mound. It's going to be, we'll bounce back, but it wasn't to be. So why don't we get into that right now?
Yeah, go for it, man. That's all you.
All right, game 2, another one-run, high-scoring game that the Jays lose. Yusei Kikuchi looked probably his shakiest start of the season, I would say. Just 4 1/3, 9 hits, given up 5 earned runs. Just 2 strikeouts, still no walks, which is a little positive you can take from it. This game to me was the Connor Wong game. I mean, you kind of have to credit him, tip your cap. He turned an incredible performance.
He turned into Mike Piazza in his prime. This guy who I've never heard of. Just 4 for 5 with 2 home runs on the night, including the game winner. He was
incredible in this game. He was the difference. It's almost just like this game was.
It's comical
individual performance that kind of took the Red Sox over the top. In this game as well, though, something kind of happened, and we'll get into it more, is that Dalton Varsho started to hit, which was one of the big positives, if not the only positive you could take out of the Red Sox series from last week.
And
Dalton Varsho got it going. Vlad had it going most of this series, but he had another nice day, 2 for 4. Varsho went 2 for 4 with a bomb.
Yep.
And I thought that bomb was going to be, again, the difference.
It's back-to-back days of 3-run home runs, and the Jays somehow couldn't get it done. I'm like...
Yes, and then we'll get into George Springer a bit more in the Pittsburgh series in game 1 of that series because he did hit a big home run, but he was really struggling, and this is where I first really, really noticed that he was struggling. He went 0 for 5 at the top of the order. Not what you're looking for out of your leadoff hitter, your table
especially someone you're paying.
Biggest free agent signing.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It's early. I'm not going to get on a guy like him unless there's been a couple weeks of struggles and maybe even a month of struggles. But this series, George Springer looked like he was a little lost, and he was forcing things, and he was not really what you'd expect him to be.
Yeah, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, that game was frustrating as well. They all were.
Yeah, like Springer, throughout the small sample size of this season, he has had games where he's hit the ball like 100 miles an hour off the bat, but he just found a glove. Yeah. And that's baseball. That happens. That being said, though, when you're constantly pulling the baseball and not hitting the opposite way, teams will then be like, okay, we know where to pitch. Like pitchers will be like, okay, I'm going to throw him off speed, so he's out in front, and he's going to pull it, and then it's going to find either the third baseman or shortstop or left fielder. But, like you said, Pittsburgh series, more of a center field approach. on his home run. We'll get more into it, but yeah, Springer in this series looked like something was bugging him, or I don't know if it's an injury or if he's just lethargic. I don't know. I don't know. We can only speculate. Anyway, yeah. So this one, another 1-run loss for
Connor
the
Wong,
Jays.
hats
Connor
off.
Wong, tip of the cap to the man. Yeah. So 7-6 loss. Game 3 was like, I don't know if it's worse if you lose a 1-run game or if you get blown out like this. 8-3, the Jays fall. Alek Manoah goes 5 innings, gives up 8 hits, only 2 earned runs, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. It's yet another Manoah finds himself struggling with his command and finding the strike zone, but because he's got that dog in him, he battles and battles and battles and works his way through 5 innings. Yeah, Chris, I sincerely hope that Alek Manoah can figure out what the hell's going on with his pitch mix, because in that Yankees start at Yankee Stadium, he looked like he had it down. He was performing as well as Garrett Cole, in my opinion. But then now he took 2 steps forward, and now he's taking 1 step back again. And it pains me because this guy was a Cy Young candidate last year, and I'd argue could have and should have won it. I know he didn't have the strikeout numbers, but that to me, shouldn't matter. I mean, neither did Verlander, and he won the damn thing. So, yeah, Anthony Bass goes only a third of an inning, gives up 3 hits and an earned run. He has so obviously lost his spot in high leverage situations. I don't want to see him coming into a ball game when we have less than 3 runs more than our opponent. I want to see him coming in when we're either up by 6 or down by 6, when it doesn't fucking matter. Yeah, because this guy, I'm sick to death with watching him pitch. Trevor Richards won an inning and a third, gave up 2 hits and an earned run, 3 walks but 2 strikeouts. Nate Pearson comes in again and dominates. 1 and a third, 2 hits, no earned runs, no walks, and a strikeout. But the batting, Springer went 0 for 9 in game 2 and game 3 combined. Not a good look for your leadoff guy. Vladdy went 2 for 4. That moonshot home run over the monster, though, man, it's like the same home run swing that he had in Yankee Stadium last year. Pitches inside, and he just pulls his hands in and just launches the fucking thing. No one can hit those pitches better than Vladdy as far as for power. I know Bo Bichette can get to them and kind of spray them into right field, but Vladdy is the most elite at turning on inside pitches, it seems like.
Yeah, I would agree. For me, this game was about a single thing that happened. It was when Alek Manoah got hit by a comebacker. Not exactly sure what inning it was, but he was looking okay. He was hanging in there, and then after that, things just unraveled, and it was almost resembled a Jose Barrios outing from a couple of years ago. He just couldn't dial it back in and finish and get out of the 5th inning or was it the 6th inning?
Yeah.
He wasn't able to lock it in and get big outs when he needed it. And things just kept piling up until the Red Sox took the lead. And yeah, it's tough. I don't know how much that was affecting him soreness wise, or maybe affecting his delivery. But he is a guy who needs his lower half to be in order for him to have success. So if he's feeling pain there, it could have affected things. These next 2 games, this game and game 4 with Gausman on the mound, there's a lot of bad bounces too. Things just not going right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like everything at once just kind of came and crumbled down on the Blue Jays, especially in these last 2 games, because Manoah was looking pretty good, and then that comebacker hit him, and he just completely
buckled,
kind of lost it. And I don't blame him. It's probably not easy pitching when you're feeling a bruise like that, or when you're sore like that. Hit him right in his wallet, right in his hamstring. So it's not probably the most comfortable thing to deal with. And yeah, it definitely affected him. I was actually shocked at how different he looked after that moment. And then, Varsho, another 2 for 4, which is great.
Yep.
He really turned it up, but it
He
was
fixed
another
his
loss.
swing. Yep.
Yeah, this was the game where it's like, okay, this is actually happening. Like the Red Sox are actually just taking it to us right now. And again, you got to credit the Red Sox, man. That lineup is relentless. They don't strike out. They make contact. A lot of singles in this series for
A
them.
lot of stolen bases, a lot of moving up on wild pitches. Ryan Tapia
cannot limit runners.
No, they can't.
That could be a theme that we see more of. It could be a little.
Even their pickoffs, man. Even their pickoffs, yeah. they don't have anything going for them. So I'd rather a guy hit a double or steal second. And also, there was something about Danny Jansen behind the plate. His arm looks weak this year. Like we used to see in the past him like throwing cannonballs out to second base or to third base, but in that series they just took advantage. Jansen was barely getting the ball in front of the second base bag. Tapia comes back and haunts the Blue Jays after they let him walk in free agency.
Also, the defense was very sloppy.
Yes, it was. It was uncharacteristic for the Jays, considering how many defensive upgrades they've made coming into this season. But anyway,
4 errors in one game in this game.
Yeah,
all 4 of them scored.
Yeah.
So everything was just falling apart.
Yeah.
Every aspect of the game seemed to be falling apart, and this was the game for me that became glaring that they probably weren't going to get a win in this series because Boston had all the mojo. And we're playing just relentless baseball, and the Blue Jays were looking a little flustered and continued with their stud Kevin Gausman on the mound, coming off a career high strikeout performance
against the Mariners.
And when Kevin Gausman struggles, it usually looks something like this: 3 1/3, 10 hits, 8 earned runs, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. Red Sox again, we're doing a good job with Gausman. It's all about laying off that junk down in the zone. And if you see something hard up in the zone, you're going to take a big swing at it. And the location with the fastball wasn't there. Splitter wasn't generating swings and misses. And yeah, it all looks the same with Gausman when he has a bad outing. It looks exactly like this. Massive hit numbers from the other team.
Yeah.
Usually a lot of really, really hard hit fastballs going a long way. No strikeouts, really limited swings and misses. And yeah, you kind of just have to credit the Red Sox. Obviously, the conditions weren't great for him. It was a cold, kind of dreary day in Boston. But yeah, you'd love for him in this situation to be the stopper of the losing streak and of the tough series, and he wasn't able to get it done, but I still believe he'll bounce back. He hasn't shown any reason to doubt it.
He still has the third or second best ERA on the team as of today, I believe, on May 9th when we're recording this. I have all the faith in the world in Kevin Gausman. We talked about it last episode. You said it's the biggest flex that Gausman can throw a pitch that the hitter also knows is coming, but it doesn't matter. They can't do anything about it anyway. But
what they can do is not swing at it.
Exactly. So it's live by the splitter, die by the splitter. And unfortunately it bit him in the ass on this one. Just again, Tim Meza comes out of the pen after Gausman and just flat out dominates 1 2/3 innings. 3 hits, no earned runs, no walks, and a strikeout. Swanson comes in, 1 hit, no earned runs, no walk. Zach Pop. Then this is where
things get interesting.
So he comes in, only comes in for 2/3 of an inning, gives up 2 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, and then 1 strikeout. But then he left the game, if I'm remembering correctly. This is the game where he, I don't know if he pulled it or he tore it, but something with his hamstring. He felt a pop, and now, no pun intended, he's now on the IL, Chris. So bullpen takes, I don't want to say a massive hit, but it still takes a hit. It takes a hit.
Guys are going to have to step up.
Yeah, and the Jays ended up bringing up Jay Jackson for the Pittsburgh series and beyond, because I'm pretty sure he's still with the ball club going into Philadelphia for this 2-game series against the Phillies. Anyway, The batting now. George Springer went 1-for-4. Hey, he got a hit. He drove in a run. There it is. Georgie boy, he's back. Sort of. And then we had Bo Bichette go 2-for-5 with a run and an RBI. Vladdy went 2-for-5 with another solo bomb, 2 ribbies, and then Dalton Varsho goes 2-for-3. Varsho, since making that adjustment, going back to what he called his old batting stance, where he's more upright and his elbows back rather than having his hands down here, seems to have helped him out tremendously. Because even when he's out in front, Chris, I'm sure you saw in the series on off speed, he was still finding a way to get the barrel on it just enough where he could spray a base hit into right field. He's pulling a lot, but if you're pulling and the ball's going 420 feet and you're hitting home runs and hitting doubles and shit, I'm fine with that. I don't give a crap. His new old batting stance is working out famously for this man, and I am so happy for him.
Yeah, he looks like he's giving himself a chance to hit these breaking balls. He's staying back just long enough. Mm-hmm. He looks really good at the plate, and it continued into Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. Just to kind of recap this Boston series. I mean, the Jays scored 19 runs over 4 games. Like, that is, you would never see that total and think they got swept.
No, exactly. And the Red Sox ended up scoring, what was it, 26 to our 19 or 24 to our 19 or something like that?
Yeah, something ridiculous. And the Blue Jays had a lot of success at Fenway Park over the past couple of years. Mm-hmm. I was interested in seeing how this Red Sox team would look at home against a team that would definitely fire them up.
Yeah.
They came as advertised. I knew they were crushing the ball. I knew they were one of the best offenses in the majors. And I mean, they kept it rolling too. They went into Philly and won a couple games. Yep. They're not a team you can take lightly. And I feel like, I don't think the Jays did that, but I just think that the Red Sox were extremely geared up for these games. They wanted it. I'm not saying the Jays didn't want it, but you could definitely see that the Red Sox had a great approach. The Blue Jays pitching was not fooling them. No. And you kind of just have to
tip your cap to them
a bit. I mean, the Jays obviously didn't play good baseball throughout this series. But when you put up 19 runs over 4 games, you have to think you're going to win
one game.
One of them.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of bad breaks, just didn't go their way.
This team,
and they were still like 5 games over 400 when the series ended. 4
games over. I think it was 4 games over 500 or something like that. It doesn't matter, because then they went into PNC Park. Yeah, it's the weirdest thing, man. But again, Chris Bassett said it best before or after his start in game 1 here. Let's just dive into this real quick. Jays win 4-0 in game 1. Chris Bassett looked tremendous, going 7 innings, 4 hits given up, 0 earned runs, 4 walks, which is a bit of an issue, but 5 strikeouts. So the real stopper is Chris Bassett. Chris, what is it? The Bassett Hound. The Hound. He said after, before the game, I think it was Shulman on the broadcast said that Bassett is so pleasantly surprised that how short-term memory the young guys on the Jays have, guys like Bichette, even Biggio and Vladdy, saying like, we just got swept by Boston, but you'd never think we did, because these guys went, okay, business as usual, new series, new game, let's go out and dominate. And that's exactly what happened. 4-0 win. Eric Swanson comes out of the pen for an inning, 0 hits, 0 runs, 0 walks. Jordan Romano then comes in and closes the door, gets a strikeout in his 9th or 8th save of the season. George Springer, 1-for-5 on the day, but we got a Springer dinger, Chris. We got a Springer dinger. We got a home run out of the boy. 2-run shot. I hope that this series propels him into what we know George Springer can do, between 260 and 270 batting average, hitting for power, hitting the opposite way. Because when he's going, this lineup fucking thrives, and they need him to start hitting, and this home run hopefully will get him to turn the corner. I mean, what else can you say other than 2-hit Whit Merrifield, man? This guy he's
really good, man.
He has really solidified himself as the starting second baseman for the Blue Jays in this series. He went 2-for-4 in game 1, stole 3 bags. I think that's the 5th time in his career that he's done that in a game, which is fucking awesome.
Yeah. A lot going on the bases in this game.
Yeah, a lot going on. Oh, 100%, man. Yeah.
Pittsburgh was running into outs all over the place.
Yeah, it was very sloppy on their part, for sure. Vladdy goes 1-for-4 with a ribby. So game 1, nice, easy 4-0 win. The bullpen John Schneider brought out the right guys in a 4-run game. Eric Swanson. I mean, it does help when your starter goes 7 innings, so it makes it a lot easier to manage. But
For sure.
that's baseball, man, and giving the other guys some rest. Game 2, the Blue Jays flat out dominated 8-2 win over the Pirates.
Start to finish.
Yeah, start to finish. Jose Barrios. I felt so bad for this guy, man. I was watching it, I was thinking it, but I wasn't saying it out loud. I wasn't speaking it into existence. This guy had a perfect game going, I believe, into the 5th or 6th inning, and then gave up a leadoff walk. And then right afterwards, base hit for Key Brian Hayes.
It's usually how it works.
It is. It went like he gets going, and it just starts to snowball. But I digress. 6 1/3, 5 hits, just 2 earned runs, 7 strikeouts, and 1 walk. Jose Barrios had a fucking tremendous outing against a team that has surprised a lot of people to start the year. 20 wins. They're one of, I think, 11 teams with 20 wins in the majors already this year. But when you run into a good team with a good pitching staff and they pitch the way that they can and the way that they should, you're going to struggle. So Barrios had a tremendous outing. Anthony Bass comes in a game, like I said, where I only want to see him when we're up by 6 runs, because no pressure, not a high leverage spot. Come in and just do your job. He goes just 2/3 of an inning, but he strikes out the 2 batters that he faces. Tim Mesa, again, just dominant. 1 inning pitched, 0 walks, 0 earned runs, strikes out the side. And I'm pretty sure he got into a couple 3-2 counts, at least one 3-2 count. And then he got, I believe it was either Jiwan Bay, maybe Connor Joe looking on strike 3. And his sinking fastball, the fact that he can throw it at 94 up in the zone and it looks like it's going to be a ball, but then it just takes that quick dive down and frame. It's beautiful to see. He's easily
been their best reliever for the past 3 weeks, like you said. He's been really, really good.
Yeah. And then Jay Jackson. I love this guy already, man. He a bit of a journeyman, played a few years in Japan. He actually led the I think in saves or holds, excuse me. He led in holds over a 3-year stretch there in the NPB. 35 years old, comes back. He was originally on the Jays roster during spring training, but in his contract, they said that if he's not on the opening day roster, he will be released. And then the Jays signed him to a contract anyway. Comes up to replace the injured Zach Pop. Comes in the 9th, 1 inning pitched, seals the deal, not gets the win, but seals the deal. Just 1 walk, no earned runs, no hits. And I don't know if you saw, Chris, but when Bo went to make the catch on the fly ball out to end the game, Jackson's just sitting there just cheesing. And then Bo starts giggling at him. And
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. You don't see Bo show a lot of emotion as far as on the baseball field.
No, definitely not.
just seeing Jay Jackson just sitting there smiling at him, and then Bo just like goes from this to like a little smirk. It was nice to see. So
yeah, I'm sure that feels good.
But can we get into the weirdest but like the most cool part of the whole game? Brandon Belt still knows how to hit National League pitching. This guy
he still knows how to hit. He also knows how to get kicked out. Well, I guess he didn't really do anything, but that was kind of funny too.
You can't really draw a line in the sand where the ball was. We know it was a ball. We know it was low. Everyone on the broadcast saw it. I saw the umpire scorecard on Twitter, and I nearly fell over. How piss poor the
this
performance.
Was not a very
87% accuracy in strikes called by that umpire in that game. But Brandon Bell goes 2 for 3 with 2 walks, a 2 RBI double, and 3 runs scored. I'm fine with Brandon Bell DHing if we're facing National League teams. And it makes you wonder, Chris, I don't think the viewers know, but you and I and our 2 Evans, our 2 friends named Evan, are going to the ball game on Friday night against the Braves. It makes you think, right-handed Spencer Strider, do you think Brandon Bell gets playing time at DH?
A great question, actually.
It's a National League pitcher.
He's hitting well right now.
Yeah, he's coming off a big series. He'll probably see some playing time in this 2-game series against the Phillies. Two righties on the mound again, and Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler. That's gonna be fun. Yeah, I'd like to see Brandon Bell in there against National League teams because clearly he can still hit them. I know it's hard to make the adjustment coming over from a division or from the league that you were in for 10 years or 12 years, and then coming to the American League in the toughest division in baseball and try to compete.
Yeah.
That said, I'd like to see more of him. Dalton Varsho goes 2 for 5 with an RBI. He seems to have found his stroke. Yeah. He's heating up.
These lefties, man, these guys were really important. I remember saying it. These lefties are going to be huge in this lineup. And, you saw, again, like the Jays were kind of stacking righties because the lefties weren't hitting well. And it's like you went out and you got these guys. But
they're doing it now.
It's not much different. But now you see Varsho slotted in when Vladdy, and we should mention Vladdy too, wrist soreness. The last 2 games here. So the game we're talking about now and then game 3.
Yeah.
Vlad was not in the lineup. It seems like it's nothing too bad, but apparently he wanted to play on Sunday. He asked to play, but they said, we'll be cautious here. I don't know if they would have lost the first 2 games of this series and had a 7-game losing streak or an 8-game losing streak coming into this game if they would have still sat him down.
Yeah.
But they took the cautious approach, which I don't mind, especially after you win 2 games and the team that you're facing doesn't.
It's a long season. I'd rather him sit for an extra day and be consistent throughout the rest of the year than try and fight through it and then end up making it worse. So, yes, Kevin Biggio comes in to take his spot. And Chris, he went 2 for 5. A couple of bullshit hits, but hey,
doesn't get me going too much, but still, hit 2 for 5 is better than 0 for 5. So.
Exactly. And you know what? They don't ask how, they just ask how many. Anyway, Jays take it 8-2. Let's move on to game 3. And Yusei cares, Chris.
Yusei cares, and I care about Yusei.
Yeah. Kikuchi's corner completes the sweep. 10-1 win. Dominant fashion. Kikuchi goes 6 1/3 with 4 hits, 0 earned runs, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Jimmy Garcia comes in, gives up 3 hits, an earned run, a walk, and a K. And then Jordan Romano comes in for some reason in the 8th inning. I don't know why that was. Schneider maybe
just wanted the highest leverage spot of the game, and they just wanted to pitch him that day.
Yeah, and they wanted to give Romano some work.
At that point, it wasn't 10-1.
No, I think it was.
At that point, it was like
6-1 or 5-1.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure it was 5-1 or 6-1 because later on in the game, Varsho went deep, hit it all the way into the Allegheny River.
That was awesome.
And then Kiermaier went deep.
Yeah. No, so exactly. They built up a lead, and then Pearson came in. But when Romano was in, it was still somewhat close.
Exactly. So he goes 2/3 of an inning, no earned runs, no walks with a strikeout. Nate Pearson comes in to close it out. Well, not really close it out, but shut the door.
I'm liking what Nate Pearson is bringing, man. He's
doing exactly what he needs to do. He needs to come up, and I'm so glad that they finally figured it out and turned him into a relief pitcher because, dude, his stuff is elite when he's coming in and only throwing 20 to 25 pitches. Yeah. I am so happy that he's figured it out. Save those bullets, exactly. He comes in, seals the deal with a strikeout. Bo Bichette went 2 for 5 on the day, 2 runs scored. Whit Merrifield 2 for 5 with an RBI double, a 3-run home run. 2-hit Whit is heating up, and I love every second of it.
I feel bad for Espinal, I do, because I really like Espinal, but there's no debate anymore.
No, especially in a division this tough, you need to go with your best. It could change. It could. Knock on wood, he gets injured, but you never know.
Locking it down.
Oh yeah, having that guy, and it makes that deal last year at the deadline look even 10 times better because Max Castillo. I remember being
so baffled when that happened too.
For Max Castillo, which is the funniest thing to me because that guy, I don't think he's even sniffed major league bullpen time this year for the Royals.
No, they didn't give up anything, and it just all the talk was about bullpen pitching arms, and then they went and got Whit, and I was just very confused. But I see the vision, Ross.
Oh yeah, and it worked out well. 2-hit Whit again. 3 what was it here? Where did I have this? 3-run home run and an RBI double. Guy had 4 RBIs on the day with a run scored. Varsho with a 2-run bomb, like I said, into the Allegheny River, and then Kiermaier, he's hitting, and then Kiermaier gets his
man, he's hitting season. He's been hitting all year.
Was this first of the year? First home run? Second home run.
Yeah, one at home in the home opener, I think.
That's right. That's the Tigers. That's right. Yeah. Oh no, wait. Did he? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Either it's his first or his second.
The lefties. Look at this. In this game, 7 hits from the 3 lefties in the lineup.
Yeah. 7 hits.
Very good.
2 home runs. Brandon Belt goes 3 for 4 again with 2 runs scored and a walk. Man, he's showing that he still belongs on a major league ball club, and I'm fine with it.
He's bouncing back. He's bouncing back. He's had some injuries. He's an older guy.
Mm-hmm.
Probably takes him a bit more time to get everything going, but he's looking more comfortable at the plate.
Yeah. And you want a guy like that with that veteran leadership and that knowledge of, hey, I've been to the World Series and won it 2 times. You want that when you're getting down to the dog days of August and September. You want a guy like that as a voice in the clubhouse. All in all, though, Chris, as we are running out of time here,
a very strange week.
Very strange week for Blue Jays.
A week where I don't know how you could go from looking so bad and looking like you have nothing going for you to just completely dominating a team. Maybe it, speaks to the opponent. I mean, the Pirates still have a long way to go.
Yeah.
They are, a much improved team, but their division is not very good.
No.
So
dude,
they have that going for them as well. But
real quick mention, the Cardinals. I don't know what the hell's going on with them, but I had them winning the division. Excuse me,
everybody did.
By a landslide. But hey, might be good trade partners for the Blue Jays coming into the summer months here.
If they're out of it at the deadline, there's going to be a lot of teams looking at their guys.
I'm looking at Genesis Cabrera, hard throwing lefty.
Brendan Donovan.
There's a lot of options out there. Even Milwaukee's kind of selling the farm.
Milwaukee's young. They're bringing in young crop of guys.
Yeah, that's why I like. They haven't really signed Devin Williams to an extension. That's a pretty solid bullpen piece that the Blue Jays could go.
You'd have to give up a lot, but that would be quite the deal.
Yasver Zuleta, baby. Yeah. We know the Brewers like their young pitching prospects. I would like to see
Zuleta with the Jays.
I know. Would I. Yeah, the guy's electric. Anyway.
But yeah, just such an interesting week. How quickly things can change.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Blue Jays escape after the sweep. Just being 1 game under 500 on the week, which is pretty incredible. Swept or be swept.
Exactly.
Or be swept.
Sweep or be swept.
But yeah, the AL East is a monster. The Red Sox are better than we expected. The NL Central's not great. And the Jays a Pirates team that made some errors and made some mistakes and are just young and don't really have the pitching depth quite yet to get it done. Yeah. But all in all, I'd say recency bias, feeling pretty good still. But let's just not get swept at Fenway again.
I concur. Anyway, guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We're on YouTube and Spotify. For Chris May, I've been Jack Ryan. Take it easy.